What is we've obviously, everyone has been away from the con circuit, away from doing things. What does it feel like to be back with your Supernatural family?
It feels really good to be back with the family, and it feels really scary to be outdoors.
Yeah, I have been away from them longer, I think, than anybody. It's been a while, and just the prospect of it was thrilling to get back with these people again. It's the second time I've done. The last one was here a few months ago. But the prospect of being with this group of people just was irresistible.
It always is. Well, we are so glad you guys came out this weekend. Thank you so much. And kicking off the panel, Jim, you were in season 1 and then the final episode, and your character had such a journey. How, as an actor, is it to play the different variations, obviously, of Bobby, but to play a character for 15 seasons, or version of?
It's 15 solid years of wondering when they're going to fire you. It's strange because obviously I've never played any character for nearly as long. But it was just, Bobby's like a very comfortable set of old clothes that you just slip on when they ask you to, and I feel right at home. Bobby was not a character I had to struggle to figure out a way to play. They wrote him so precisely toward whatever strengths I could have that it was always relaxing. The only thing I didn't like about playing Bobby was not playing Bobby. And I'm sorry that, at least for the time being, I'm not playing. But, it's, and I have no idea whether they have any future plans for the story or the characters. Nobody's ever said anything like that, but if they did, I'd be like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm What is it like to let go in that final moment when the director says cut and Bobby is, you're done? What is that like as an artist, I guess?
It was less unhappy for me about the character, despite how much I loved him. It was a much more melancholy experience knowing I wasn't going to be working with the people that I worked with on the show. And 15 years is, at the end of that, you pretty much either hate everybody you work with or you love them like your own blood. And it was the latter for me. The idea that I have no further guarantees of ever seeing those people again is one of the hard truths about being on the show. Even if the show's a year, you develop relationships and you don't want to let go of them. So when we started the show, social media was just getting moving. And in that regard, it's been a real blessing because even if I'm away from Supernatural for a few months, I'm still in touch with the crew and the members of the cast that I can stand. And it's, there's still a connection. In the old days, you did a show and sometimes you just never heard from those people. No matter how how much you love them. Probably because they didn't love you as much. Who knows? Anyway,
That is one of the great things about social media, is being
Yeah.
able to stay in people's lives. You're not physically in their lives. Curtis, you played a wide range of characters over your career, but I'm curious, how did you prepare to play an angel of the Lord?
I did not prepare for it because I really didn't know what I was getting into at all. There was no preparation for Metatron because they had, I mean, what was great about Metatron was I was in 15 episodes over, I think, 3 seasons. He was always brought in for a great reason. He was written so beautifully by all of the writers on that show. Everybody did such wonderful things with him. But I had no idea who he was or where he was going. So although I had an arc, which by the end of it was, I mean, it was a sort of perfect arc of someone that you despise with all of your soul to somebody where you go, oh, he's God, man. He sacrificed himself, isn't it beautiful? But like, you know, a few seasons earlier, it was like, I cannot wait for him to go back. and so, but from my perspective, I wasn't thinking about arcs because you don't, you know, unless it's a rare case where a show will tell you this is where you're going. They really, ideally, would want you to know where you're going. But with Metatron, I just did not have a clue and that he was going to become what he became, and then that he was going to wind up doing what he did to redeem himself. It was one of the great roles of my career, and I'm not exaggerating that at all. And any actor would be lucky to play that part, and I've never forgotten it and never will.
Well, you were fantastic. And I'm curious, as an actor, obviously, let's just say Metatron was in a film, you would have known the ending. You would have known the whole
Right,
part of the story.
yeah.
So, do you think it's an advantage in television and in your particular circumstance to not know that full journey?
I think that it is in some cases, but a lot of shows I think are not as well constructed and have as good a sense as Supernatural did. It's one thing if to keep an actor in the dark about what is coming up, and I think they like to do that if they can do that. But if the people who are in charge of that aren't really gifted, that can be a tremendous backfire. Fortunately, with Supernatural, it was you never felt like you were on your own. You never felt lost. And as far as being an angel of the Lord or whatever he was, as long as you played the reality of what you were playing, you were on steady ground because it was written so well. And, you know, the other part of it was Jim being on it from the beginning. I'm going into a show which I wasn't that familiar with. I'd only seen a few episodes of it, but I knew that the boys had been on from the beginning. And I have had experiences in television with people who worked on my show for a long time. And I will tell you, they often hate each other. And they make their life miserable in the process, whether you're involved or not. And not a single I'll get back to that. I remember flying up to Vancouver and thinking, and by that time I found out about the fandom and all of that, and I thought, God, these two young guys playing these huge roles, they're going to be with them forever. I thought they are almost certainly going to be monsters. I just had that feeling. I said, there's no way these can be decent people at this point. And I got there, and of course, it was the boys. And it was wonderful, and they were welcoming and giving and all of that. And I just came out of that first episode sort of dazzled that anybody could have gone that many years play the same roles and still be sweet
And funny.
and funny, although they never pranked me.
So, well, that was my next question. So good, no pranks for you. You brought up, your character's journey, and obviously talking about Bobby's journey, and Jim, in particular with you. How much over the course of the seasons were you able, if you wanted to have some input into your character, or in an episode in particular, were you able to go to the writers or the directors and say, I'd like to see it go this way, or it feels like, how much interaction as the actor did you have on Bobby's sort of storyline and scenes?
None.
None. Copy that. And same with you.
I never talked to him. I never suggested anything. I think that I think I had an influence simply, and this happens on lots of shows. If you're on it long enough, the writers start to see what you do, what you do well, and what you do less well, and they start mixing you and the character more thoroughly. And I think as time went on, there were more and more aspects of me that ended up in Bobby, and probably vice versa. But I never. The only time I ever suggested anything that I can remember was in Yellow Peril. There was a reference to Bobby speaking Japanese, and I reached out to Sarah Gamble and said, I actually speak enough Japanese that you can have me say something if you'd like to. And so they rewrote a little bit so that I would actually say something in Japanese. But that's about it as far as influence on the role of the show. Really.
Wow, that's amazing. That's interesting. I have a million questions for Curtis and Jim, and I'm sure you guys do too, so you can line up in the aisles here and just be cognizant of giving people space in front behind you. And while they're lining up, Jim, you have a new show that you were just announced for. Yes, do you want to tell us a little more about that? Be Positive?
Yeah, I just signed on to a CBS series called Be Positive. It's already been on one season, but they're kind of retooling the layout of the show, and it's produced and to a fair extent written by Chuck Lorre, who did 2.5 Men and Big Bang Theory and Kaminsky Method, and so very and I'm working with some magnificent people whose fame and talents far eclipse mine. Ben Vereen, Jane Seymour, Hector Elizondo, Linda Lavin. It's a great cast. And I've done a couple of episodes so far, and we premiere October 7th, I think, and it's a funny show. So I hope it lasts for
15 years would be great. It's a hilarious show, so if you haven't seen it, definitely check out the first season, and then of course the second season coming out in October. Hi.
Hi. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for sharing your weekend with us. Curtis, I wanted to tell you, I met you a few years ago before your demise as Metatron, and I apologize for telling you that I couldn't wait for your character to bite it. I didn't know at the time that it was imminent.
Neither did I.
Jim, my question for you is, you had the opportunity to be there in the final scenes of the series up in Vancouver. Can you share what that was like? I know it was a minimal amount of people because of COVID, but what was that experience like?
Well, first off, I was very happy to be there at all, and very disappointed that we were not able to put together the episode as it had been originally planned. I know some of the information has gotten out about what we had in mind, was going to be a grand reunion of supernatural characters, topped off Kansas and singing live. So that would have been kind of cool. It was a letdown not to be able to do that, but I was really happy that we got to do anything at all, because there was this horrible feeling for a time there that the show just might not end in a bad sense. That we would just not be able to finish it, and that was disheartening. Going on to the set, this was early enough in COVID. Nobody had vaccinations. We were all very worried about contact, and so I showed up on the last day of filming. And it was, first of all, there's the natural response when you're back with dear friends to all, hug and catch up and be close. And the fact that we couldn't shake hands, we couldn't hug, we had to stay apart from each other. And it was the last day, was hard. Knowing that this is it was difficult. By the end of the day, when we shot the scene on the bridge, where the goodbye shot, where the entire crew was there, I'm ashamed and a little happy to say that we all kind of lost our inhibitions and our desire to survive. And by the end of the day, we were all hugging each other. And fortunately, nobody came down with anything. But that could have been a super spreader event of all time. Because we really loved each other and still do. And not just the cast, but all of them. And it was a sad day. There were a lot of tears. And my accountant was crying back in
I hear you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Hi.
Hi, do you have any memorable bloopers?
Any memorable bloopers?
Curtis doesn't make mistakes.
Memorable
Bloopers.
Oh, bloopers. No, I don't have a lot of bloopers. I have a lot of bloopers because I go up a lot. But I usually just say the same word, and it's not what I'll use now. I tend to swear. And you can't keep putting it on blooper reels because it's so boring. So oh, that I believe. But no, I don't remember any funny bloopers where someone slammed a door in my face or anything like that. I don't have anything like that.
Jim, any?
Well, it's on one of the blooper reels. It looks really funny, and everybody laughed at the time. It wasn't as funny to me, but we were busting into a bar or saloon full of vampires or something like that, yeah. And we were shooting in a real bar, and they had one of those little bells above the door that rings when somebody comes in. And I burst through this door, and the door hit that bell so hard it knocked it up in the air, and it came down and fell on my head. And it was weird because it was just a little bitty bell, but it damn near knocked me unconscious. And I do believe it's on the gag reel for that season.
That's
probably the most memorable.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi.
I'm Megan. My question is, obviously there's been a lot of crap that's bad with the pandemic, and Jim, I've seen some of your posts and I share your concerns about just humanity in general and the way that people have acted towards others and protection of others and, you know, public health. But what good has happened for you out of the pandemic, like, you know, with staying at home or hobbies or anything like that?
I like to watch old movies. And in one 14-day period in February of this year, I saw 41. I keep track of such stuff because my life is empty. But for me, that was kind of heaven. And I discovered the joys of watching a lot of television all day and all night, and then getting into bed with my phone and watching something else. So I have now seen all but 3 of the movies ever made.
Favorite.
And they're all Star Wars movies that I have.
Do you have a favorite movie or favorite a movie in your top 5?
My number 1 movie of all time is John Ford's The Searchers from 1956. Really? Old people.
What about you, Curtis? Any pandemic events?
I am more of a book person, and so I didn't really watch a lot of movies, but I did keep a list. And during this unspecific period of lockdown, I read 91 books, including some of which were 2, 3, or 4 volumes each. And I'm still reading, but I'm now not pandemic reading. It doesn't have the same urgency or the same length of time. The only other thing that I did was to somehow only had just discovered Parks and Recreation, and now all I do is watch Parks and Recreation. And also, on my 3rd watch of Justified, and so it's a weird combination that Justified, and I just saw Jim the other night, as a matter of fact, on Justified, and Parks and Recreation. Parks and Recreation, I think, was the single thing that kept me from losing my mind. And I still watch it, even though I'm now on my 7th watch.
Love it. Thank you. Now you have your marching orders.
Yeah.
Hi.
This one's for Jim. So after Bobby died, did you know that he would be coming back from another dimension? And what was your reaction when you found out?
I'm easily distracted. When Bobby died, I did, that was a few seasons before the alternate dimension, and I had no idea that he was coming back. When they told me they were going to kill Bobby, I threatened their families to no particular success. They told me I would be coming back as a ghost, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll play out the next 25 seasons as a ghost. And then I was a ghost for about 3 episodes. I did not know if anything was going to happen to Bobby after that. And so every time they would call up and say, come back, we've got an episode for you, I would be surprised. Not totally surprised. I knew that with this show, people die and come back and die and come back. I figured the odds were good. A lot better than Grey's Anatomy. And so I had a gut feeling that I would always be back for some flashback or fantasy story or something, but I didn't know about the alternate universe until they had the script ready and told me about it. And I thought, great, I'm back, cool. And then I realized it wasn't quite the same Bobby, who didn't have the same relationship with the boys. And I'll confess it wasn't as fun to play because the love and banter were not an actual part of the relationship anymore. But it was better than not being here. So, yeah.
Thank you. Great question. Thanks. Hi.
Hi, yes, this is Curtis and Jim. As you know, the Supernatural community is some of the most dedicated fans that there are. I just was wondering if there was ever a moment from the community that ever struck you full of awe that you were in disbelief of, in a good way.
In a good way. I remember the one time, and it might sound like it's not good, but it actually was when I mistakenly got involved with the whole shipping thing. And
This is going to be good.
the Destiel.
Just like FedEx.
I had thought that, and I thought, well, shipping, my dad was a Navy man, and I knew what that was, and I was amazed to discover that it was a controversy, and that I allowed myself to be injected into, which in some respects I'm still paying for. And I think one of the greatest things about it was it gave me enormous delight that any fandom, and I've been part of a lot of fandoms in my life, and any fandom that can have that much passion, and it may frustrate them, it may anger them sometimes, but for me it's glorious because it speaks to their souls, it speaks to what's important to them, and it speaks to the strength of the source material that inspires people to feel so passionately. So even though I got in trouble for saying that Destiel was a thing, it's just a joke. But then I suddenly realized the ramifications, and I was dazzled.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. My question's for Jim. I was wondering what your favorite moment scene was that you did with Jared and Benson. Jared and Benson, because you guys spent so much time together.
Who?
Jared.
All the young ones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My favorite moment with them. Wow, that's like asking me which of the billions of M&Ms I have eaten. Wow, that's there are so many. I don't really like them, but we did have great times together. What I remember best about them is not so much specific moments, but certain little periods of time, for some reason, the night we were out in the woods, and there were creatures up in the trees, and Bobby closed his eyes and listened and shot one of them. I just remember that night being so much fun. There wasn't anything specific that happened other than it was Friday night, and the first AD really wanted us to wrap up and go home, and and Jared had overserved himself. And so we had trouble getting through a tape without Jared doing something silly. But what I remember was not specific things, just the fact that we spent that whole night laughing and watching Kevin, or AD, slowly lose his mind. Because this stuff's like $1,000 a minute, you know. And it's Friday night, everybody wants to go home before it's Sunday. So, yeah, it's like that. There's not so much specifics, just having this wonderful, wonderful, fun, joyous time. Because TV shows are not always fun. They're not, they're rarely as fun as this one to do, to make. Laughing all the time is not something that happens on every show, or even most shows. And we laughed pretty much all the time.
It's like those relationships you were talking about too. That idea that you can find yourself, and it's utterly arbitrary. You wind up in the middle of something that not only is wonderful but lasts as long as that one did. I mean, it's the best thing in the world. But most television shows are work. I mean, it's like we go to work, and to have that is a real gift.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great question. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Curtis. Hi. This is for Jim. My father, well, thank you for your service. My father is a Vietnam veteran, and my husband's currently in the service. So I want to thank you for your service.
Well, you're dead.
And I just wanted to. It wasn't a weird question, sorry, I'm rambling. Anyway, so you played Bobby Singer, and then you played Alternate Universe Bobby Singer, and on The Boys you're playing Robert Singer. Do you ever get an identity crisis? Do you ever get an identity crisis?
Actors are born with identity crisis. It's the defining factor. No, I do sort of wonder how many more shows we're going to name my character that. I delight in the chagrin it has caused the real Robert Singer. Who, contrary to what most of his friends think, it was not his idea and he didn't like it. It's, well, The Boys is an Eric Kripke show, so, you know, and it's full of weird and offbeat humor. And I think it's just another sign of Kripke's weirdness, and I delight in it. It's clearly not the same character, and yet he's also from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So I don't know. Well, Eric is young enough that he can probably have 5 or 6 more shows, and I'm counting on being a singer in all of them.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I want to thank you all for coming. It's really nice to see you all. I kind of have something to say to Jim, but you're amazing on your girl. But Jim, I'm jumping out of my body right now.
Deep breath.
Yes. I've been watching the show since middle school, and I just turned 30 last week. So, Bobby's freaking father, see with Sam and Dean. So, with Sam and Dean and Bobby, the car
it's always been like a home, like a comfort. And like the show's not the happiest, but it's always been the happiest for me. Like, I don't know, it's hard to say one word, but it's always been like a saving grace. I don't know, it's just, you know, you've been with somebody for 15 years, and it's just, I personally love seeing you and the personality. It brought me to tears because how amazing seeing you back there with the boys. But I really wanted to say thank you because it's just I don't know, it's just, you know, it's like I said, it's a comfort. So I appreciate you being part of Supernatural, and thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing.
I'm so touched by the response of people to the show, to our characters, and the generosity of spirit that is evident from all of you and from all of the fans around the world. It's been an honor, and I'm deeply appreciative. Thank you.
Hi.
こんにちは、ちいさん。私の質問に、すみません。質問何をエピソードは大好きですか？
本当？
何をエピソードは大好きですか？
Weekend at Bobby's. Yeah.
Favorite episode?
Yeah. Weekend at Bobby's. I mean, it was all about me. Yeah, that was, Weekend at Bobby's was so fun, and with Jensen directing and doing so well, his first time out of the chute, it was a wonderful experience, and nice to meet this. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a treat. Hi.
Hi, I'm just a huge fan. I love you since Sister Act.
Oh, come on now,
But I have a question for Mr. Curtis. You mentioned that passion is your natural fandom. But when my friend and I pulled into the hotel last night, the valet very excited and said, "You just misspoke." And my question is, has the passion of the supernatural fandom gotten to a point where people are now yelling Metatron at you sometimes, or is it still always?
No, I don't think it doesn't have that kind of effect, sadly. I would love it if people started yelling Metatron at me in the street. But overall, it tends to be booger.
Sorry.
I mean, it's all right. I'm perfectly. You know what I did for a while, and then it became because you do realize after a while where you realize you have made an influence just by being paid to say horrible things and pick your nose, which at the time I was sort of ashamed of, and then as time goes by, you realize it means something to people that you'll never understand. But it does mean something to people, and over time you embrace it, because how many actors get a chance to have something that you remember at all? And it was an acting job. It had nothing to do with me. And that character has nothing to do with me. People were disappointed that I'm not more like him. But geez, you have something that people remember and can quote lines back at you, and that's wonderful.
Yes, that is, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's extremely special. to have, you know, as an artist, a memory like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have about 5 minutes left, so I think we'll be able to get through all 4 of you guys. Hi.
Hello. This question's for Jim. One of your famous lines in the show is you saying "midget." I was wondering if that was from you or from the writers, if that was from your mind or from the writer's minds.
I don't share what's in my mind. No, that line was pure script. And in fact, I saw the script, I saw the line, and I said, oh, come on now, really? I don't want to say that. That's stupid. It's just dumb. It's a dumb line. It's a dumb word. I don't. And I said the same thing a year later when they wrote balls. And now I have hats and shirts that say "Midget" and balls. And so do other people. It was not my idea. I have come to appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Curtis. Hi, Jen. So my question is, in the supernatural universe, everybody has their own specialized heaven. So I'm just wondering what your guys' heaven would be.
Our actor selves,
Like yourselves.
if you saw hobbies.
I guess mine would be eerily similar to the room that you first see Metatron in, which is the book line room. But then I would also have to have very good glasses all the time in the world. And that's right. Yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day when I dropped my glasses. Yeah, that would be mine.
Yeah. Mine would be similar. A room full of books and excellent streaming service. And a lot of naked ladies.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello. Sorry, I'm doing it. I guess my question is for Curtis. Back in season 10, how did you feel about being the one to kill Dean out of one of the many times? And the second question was for Jim about the relationship between the boys and John. What Jim would be as a person, as yourself, versus a father.
Could I just ask when I killed what?
Killed Dean.
Oh, Dean.
Yes, back in the beginning.
Yeah. No, I know. When I killed Dean. Was that when I beat him to death?
Yes.
That was pretty cool. I mean, somebody my size doesn't get to beat up somebody, kill somebody. So, awesome.
My personal assessment of John's relationship with the boys, he could have done better. And if he'd listened to me, he would have.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And our final question, hi, Lauren.
So, not to not end on a supernatural question, but Curtis, my question is for you from Revenge of the Mirrors. The burps that Booger did, were those actually you or were those sound effects?
They were sound effects that were done by, that they were trying to find someone who could do the longest burp. I mean, an inhumanly long burp, and they couldn't find one, but they started looking into the animal kingdom recordings, like field recordings, and they actually found a recording of two camels mating.
I have been.
The sound that you are hearing is actually the combination of a human actual belch and a camel orgasm.
Wow.
I wouldn't have brought it up.